Good afternoon, students. Today we discuss about the 12th commerce. So in this video we discuss about the elements of entrepreneurship, lesson number 23. In this chapter, first we discuss about the characteristics of entrepreneur. First point is the spirit of enterprise. So entrepreneur should be bold enough to encounter risk arising from the venture undertaken. So venture means a business. Entrepreneur, the person who start the business by investing money, he is called as entrepreneur. The entrepreneur should not get discouraged by setback or frustrations emerging during the course of entrepreneurial journey. So there should be spirit in doing the business. Self-confidence. The entrepreneur should have a self-confidence in order to achieve high goals in the business. So the negativities like inconvenience, discomfort, disappointment, rejections, frustrations, and so on should not weaken his steely resolve to make the venture in grand success. So he must have a self-confidence to run the business and to develop the business in a good manner. So there should be a self-confidence in the entrepreneurship activities. Flexibility. Entrepreneur should not doggedly stick to decisions in a rigid fashions. So entrepreneurs should change the decisions made already in the light of ever-changing business environment. Innovations. Entrepreneurs should contribute something new or something unique to meet the changing requirements of customers, namely new product, new method of production or distribution, etc. So the entrepreneur should have contribute some new innovations, new ideas, new techniques in their production. In order to satisfy the needs of the customers, he should satisfy all the needs. So he should produce the product by using the new method of techniques. Resource mobilization. Entrepreneurs should have the capability of mobilize both tangible inputs like manpower, money, materials, technologies, etc., which are scattered over a wide area, and certain intangible inputs like motivation, moral, and innovativeness cannot be purchased in the market outright. So the entrepreneur should use all the resources, whether input resources and also the output resources. He should use equally in order to develop the business. Hard work. Entrepreneur should put in strenuous efforts and constant endeavor to accomplish the goals of the venture successfully. So the proprietor, the owner, he has to put a full effort and a constant endeavor to complete the goals in order to make successful business. So they have to courageously face uncertainties, risk, and constraints. So they should not blame the uncontrollable factors for the misfortunes experienced during the course of the business. Leadership. Entrepreneurs should be able to influence team members by showing sympathy and empathy so as to enable them to contribute positively towards the goals of the venture. So he has to give ideas and motivate the group of persons he had in order to succeed the business. So he must have a good leadership and he should give a proper directions in order to achieve the goal. Foresight. Entrepreneur should have a foresight to realize future business environment. In other words, entrepreneur should foresee the likely changes to take place in market, consumer attitude, technological development, etc. Analytical ability. Entrepreneurs should not make decisions on the basis of their own prejudice or personal likes and dislikes. So entrepreneurs should be able to objectively analyze the situations and act accordingly. So whenever he want to take the decisions, he should not take decisions individually or personally. He should analyze all the situations and all the act according to the circumstances. Based upon that, he can take any decisions. Decision making. Entrepreneur has to take a timely and correct decision with regard to nature and type of product to be produced, type of technology to be adopted, type of human assets to be employed, etc. So the very success of any enterprise brings on prompt, correct and relevant decision made by the entrepreneur. So while taking decision, he should be very cautious to take necessary steps in order to take a quick and better decisions. Next, difference between entrepreneur and intrapreneur. So entrepreneur is a free thinker because of he is the sole person to take any decision. But intrapreneur is forced to think independently but within the scope of business activity undertaken in the enterprise. Entrepreneur is an independent person. Entrepreneur is dependent on the enterprise. Entrepreneur, he is an employee. That is, entrepreneur is one of the employee work in the business. So he will depend on the entrepreneur. He will never take individual decisions. Fund mobilizations. Entrepreneur has to mobilize funds to finance the business, but entrepreneur does not engage in the mobilization of funds, but can access funds mobilized by the entrepreneur. Reward. So entrepreneur is rewarded by profit for risk-bearing exercises. Entrepreneur does not share in profit of venture, but gets perquisites, salary, incentives, etc. for doing his service. Entrepreneur bear the risk involved in the venture, but entrepreneur does not bear any risk because he is one of the employee, so and does not even share in the risk also. However, entrepreneur is accountable for any risk arise by his carelessness. Status. Entrepreneur is owner and does not report to anybody in the venture, but entrepreneur is one of the salary person, so he should answerable for any faults arise by his activities in the business organizations. Entrepreneur operate mostly outside the enterprise, but entrepreneur operate within the business organization. There are some difference between the entrepreneur and manager. The very motive of an entrepreneur is to start a venture by setting up an entity. So entrepreneur will fix the motive the business. But manager, the very motive of manager is to render service. He should, because of manager is also one of the salary person in the business organization. So he should give proper service to success the business. Entrepreneur is owner of the entity, but manager is one of the salary person in the business entity. Entrepreneur bear the eventual risk and uncertainty in operating the business, but manager does not bear any risk because he is one of the salary person. Even though he manage the business, if any loss arises, he should give proper answer for arising the loss. Rewards. Entrepreneur is rewarded by a profit for the risk-bearing exercise. So the reward for entrepreneur is totally uncertain. But in the case of manager point of view, he is a salary person. He will get bonus, allowances, and other facilities by doing the services. An entrepreneur requires creative talent, institution, and urge for innovations. So whatever he do, some special activities in the business not to develop, he will have sufficient profit. But in the case of manager requires conceptual skill and human relation skills in order to uplift the business. So with that we conclude this video. Students, you can go through all the points which are taught in this video and write all the answers in your commerce assignment notebook. Don't forget to send a task complete message in the group. So between 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. send task complete message by all the students. Thank you.